Welcome to my channel. I wanted to share a little bit about what's on my table this morning, and I ran across a really cool how-to process video from a YouTube channel called A Touch of Sparkle, and she was making what she called snippet tags, and I just had to go and try them. They're these little shaped snippet things that you build, and they're a lot of fun. You can do a lot of different shapes and things with them. I've chosen hearts because it's easy to make it out of just any square of fabric or paper, and then you just can take it and hang it off a tag. You can hang it off of anything. And this one I put a little piece of jewelry on the end of it, hanging it off that tag, make a little extra there. So if you have the felt material, you can do it out of felt and just cut any kind of square, and then take another piece of material and cut it. I actually cut them both at the same time when it's material into a square, and this one's material, and then I take a piece of music paper and put it on the back so that if it turns you can see both sides. And you could actually gesso that, or put white paper or coffee dye paper on the back of that. They could write a little note. And this one, instead of the, I don't know what you call these rings, there's a certain name for them, instead of those rings you could use a safety pin to attach it, or even a piece of string or ribbon would attach too. So hopefully you can, oops, I'll go over here. Hopefully you can see the different things on there. Some tatting, piece of ribbon. So you use your little pieces, and then a piece of fabric back behind there. On some of the flowers they have these little stems, so I took some out and glued them on there. Little rhinestone. This is off of a wedding dress. And then a fancy piece of ribbon. A little bit of silver mesh. And you could go more on there too. You could really collage it up. So what I did was I just take a piece of fabric that I want to use to start off with, and some of this felt, and I fold it with the felt out because it'll make the fabric just a little bit smaller when you make the heart. And then you just cut a heart shape, and I'm using the pinking shears to get that edge. You could just cut it with regular scissors too, and you just cut it around to make a heart, like so. There we go. And it makes the inside fabric just a little bit smaller than the outside edge when you do it that way. And then you glue this to this, and then eventually you'll get a piece of music paper and just cut it around your size. You can just cut it around here and glue it on, and then you have your base to start making your snippets on there. And then I got some white fabric. Do it one more time. You just make the design. You start in the corner and you just cut that corner, and then you cut an edge, and it makes a heart. It's not too hard. You could make them in squares, you can make them in circles. I tried putting some fabric in my punch, it didn't work, so you'd have to like make a template for the circles and then cut them out. And there we have our base. And then I thought, what about paper? So I got a couple that I did on paper with some fabric, and I haven't really gone too far with it. I have this small book of words. It's really old. And I just glued 3 sheets together. And then I tore them out and I cut them in squares, and then I used my pinking, or fancy paper scissors, and then I cut my heart. I couldn't cut through the fabric with that scissors, so I had to cut the fabric separate. And then you just start building whatever kind of things you think you might want on there. Try to see if you can, and it's all your little bitty pieces. So just kind of go like that. Find all your little, and like on this one, this is actually a earring that I got in at a estate sale, and I just took the back off. So you can use old jewelry and put old jewelry pieces on there, break it apart and use it for that. And then you just start gluing it down. Just depends on what tricks your trigger in the end here on your little pieces. What you think looks cute. I don't know. So anyways, that's what I've been doing. Once I started one, I wanted to do 10. And and one thing that works real good on these is just to make one teardrop. So you take your scissors and you cut it in kind of a circular fashion. I guess the light just went out. Let me knock it here. There. And so you get this kind of circle, and then that fits on one of the edges of the circle of the heart. Kind of makes it nice. And pieces of ribbon and this and that and the other. You could use brads. I have a brad here. I was thinking of breaking the 2 pieces off, or I could stick it through and put that on there. But these are just lots of fun, and I'm going to hang it on pages in my journal. Oops, I keep doing that way over there. On pages on my journal, and I guess this light is not great. And we'll see. We're going to have a flash show, and you'll probably see some in my journals coming up. So I hope you guys, here's some of that paper that I cut into squares. I was going to show you one time on here. So decide which side you want to show out. You fold it in half. And as I say, you don't have to use the edge one. You could just use a regular. And you just cut it into a heart. Like so. Now these I've been inking the edges. And then you fold it open. I'd probably use this side. So on these, you don't have to put music paper on the back because it's already got a nice back. So anyways, I hope you guys are having a great crafting day, and I will talk to you later.